the total funds allocated for the construction of the airstrip in Machakos County and provide an update on the current status of the construction works. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Senator Agnes Kavindu Mudhama, MP, Senator Machakos County.
Honorable Senator Maruma, Taita Taveta.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to request for this statement on education loans to students in teachers' colleges. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education regarding the lack of Higher Education Loans Board funding and government capitation for certificate and diploma students in primary and secondary school teachers' colleges. In the statement, the committee should, 1, explain why HELP does not provide loans to students pursuing primary and secondary school teaching courses. 2, state the level of classification for primary and secondary school teachers' colleges in comparison to universities, tertiary and vocational education and training, and the Kenya Medical Training Colleges institutions which benefit from HELP and government capitation. And 3, state when these teachers' college students will start benefiting from HELP and government funding similar to students in other higher learning institutions. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, before we move to the statement pursuant to Standing Order 56-1, allow me to make the following communication. Senator Kavindu, and you may have your seat, Senator Meth. I would like to acknowledge the presence, Senator Fuller. Have your seat. I would like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon, 7 young men and women who are in the Senate undertaking an internship program. The objective of the program is to provide young people with first-hand experience in the legislative process and to expose them to the intricate world of public policy and public service. Honorable Senators, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate and my own behalf, wish them a fruitful time for learning. I will allow the Majority Leader under 1 minute to extend a word of welcome.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I join you on behalf of our colleagues to appreciate the visit by the interns of the Parliamentary Service Commission who are here from the various fields on study assignment in the institution, and therefore I think today is one of those days where they visit the chamber and see how we operate here. Parliament is a premium employer, Mr. Speaker. I say that very proudly, knowing the quality of work that our staffers do and the kind of experience that these young people are going to get. Therefore, my simple advice to them is to make the best of their time in this institution and learn from the great members of staff that work in this institution. I thank you and welcome to the students.
Statement pursuant to Standing Order 56-1B, Honorable Senator James Murango.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 56-1B of the Senate Standing Orders to make a statement relating to activities of the Standing Committee of Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries during the second part of the third session covering the period between April to August 2024. During the period under review, the committee held a total of 19 sittings, during which it considered 1 legislative agenda, 3 bills, 6 statements, and 2 public petitions, and 1 inquiry. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the reporting period, pursuant to Standing Order 131-1, the committee considered the legislative proposal, the Agriculture Produce Minimum Guarantee Returns Bill 2024, The bill seeks to provide farmers with guaranteed minimum returns for their produce, thus ensuring price stability in the agriculture sector. The committee considered one, the Nuts and Oil Crops Bill 2023, Senate Bills number 47 of 2024, and received submissions from the Council of Governors, Nature Kenya, and the Law Society of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries has established a practice of conducting public participation in counties. The committee believes in meeting the farmers in the counties. It had planned to conduct public participation in Kilifi, Kwale, Lamu, Bungoma, Busia, Nyeri, and Kenya counties. The committee commenced public participation in Kwale County. However, due to the budgetary constraints, the committee is yet to conclude public participation in the remaining counties. These budget constraints have caused significant difficulties in processing the business of the committee. Agriculture is a devolved function, and the bills before this committee concern the lives of ordinary Kenyans. When the committee considered the Mung Beans Bill, the committee met stakeholders in Kitui County in Saikuru. On Sugar Bill, National Assembly Bills number 34 of 2022, the committee met the farmers in Kakamega, Bungoma, and Busia counties. The committee this morning resolved to suspend business until it's properly facilitated to execute its mandate. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee participated in the workshop on the World Bank funded projects in counties organized by the State Department of Agriculture in June 2024. These engagements are vital to ensuring that senators remain informed and engaged in the development of policies affecting the agriculture sector and projects being implemented in counties. Mr. Speaker, sir, during the period under review, the committee considered a total of 17 statements. These statements address critical areas such as the use of harmful pesticides, delayed payment to dairy farmers, wheat seed shortages, crop insurance schemes, the postponement of election for the Kenya Tea Development Agency, KTD directors, the planned importation of sugar, vaccine production at the Kenya Veterinary Institute Production Institute, and the distribution of subsidized fertilizers. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee reviewed two petitions, one concerning the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission ESCC draft investigation into West Kano irrigation scheme, and other regarding the catastrophic maize disease that has affected farmers in Bomet County for the past 12 years. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, I wish to thank your office and the office of the clerk of the Senate for the continuous support accorded to the committee in executing its mandate. Lastly, I also wish to thank the members of the committee for their diligence and contribution during the committee activities. Attached herein is the status of the pending legislative business. Signed, James Kamau Morango, Chairperson, Standing Committee of Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senator Abbas, Chairperson, Standing Committee on Devolution.
Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 561B to make a statement on the activities of the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations for the period commencing April to August 2024. Honorable Speaker, during the reporting period, the committee held 32 sittings in which it considered various activities pertaining to mandates. As a snapshot, the committee transacted the following legislative business. A, the committee considered the following two bills, which it is about to conclude and table the respective report before the House. One, the County Oversight and Accountability Bill, Senate Bill number 3 of 2024, and the Intergovernmental Relations Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 12 of 2024. B, the committee processed 5 statements, which were sought from the committee. Of the 5 statements, the committee considered and concluded 2, leaving 3 statements pending before the committee. C, the committee jointly with the Standing Committee of Justice and Legal Affairs and Human Rights is considering the petition on restraining county government
Order, honorable senators. May the chair
county government from hiring law firms for legal representation in court cases. The two committees have jointly held meetings with various stakeholders and are looking forward to conclude the matter and table a report in this House. D, to look into the performance of the counties on implementation of budget, the committee held a consultative retreat with various stakeholders and deliberated on the issues arising from county budget implementation review for the first half of 2023-24 by the Controller of Budget. The committee has continued robustly to engage with the concerned stakeholders to address the key issues emerging in the report. Honorable Speaker, the committee is currently conducting an inquiry into the matter of county government operating several commercial banks, accounts contrary to Regulation 82(1), B of the Public Finance Management, County Government Regulation 2015. In consideration of the matter, the committee has met with 7 county governments and deliberated on the matter. The committee is planning to hold a joint retreat with the Council of Governors, Office of the Controller of Budget, and the Auditor General to chart the course of addressing the issue. The committee is currently also undertaking considering a legislative proposal on amending the County Government Act 2012 to provide definite roles of the Office of the Deputy Governors in order to clarify and streamline the responsibilities of the state office. G, to foster a harmonious working relationship with the county government, the committee is currently mediating a long-standing dispute between the county governor of Siaya and his deputy to ensure the smooth running of the county affairs. H, to assess the effectiveness of the law concerning the management of cities, urban areas, the committee is conducting a post-legislative scrutiny of the Urban Areas Cities Act of 2011 with the objective of proposing amendment to the framework of the management and governance of cities and urban areas. Honorable Speaker, the committee in future plans to conduct an inquiry into national government parastatals that are still performing devolved functions. From and to look into the issues raised by the Office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary on the Auditor General's report on the county government of the financial year 2022-23. The summary report by the Office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary identifies several cross-cutting issues that require interventions by the Senate. 3, assess the status of the valuation of assets and liabilities by the Intergovernmental Relations in Technical Committees, IGRTC. Conduct visits to various counties to assess the general state of devolution performance. Lastly, I wish to appreciate the Office of the Speaker and the Senate leadership and the Office of the Clerk of the Senate for the steadfast and support they have accorded the committee. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Chairperson, Standing Committee on Education, Senator Newton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 56(1)B to make a statement relating to the activities of the Standing Committee on Education for the second quarter of the third session covering the period between April to August 2024. Mr. Speaker, during the period under review, the committee held 17 sittings, during which it considered 22 statements, 2 petitions, and conducted 2 inquiries. The committee also undertook 1 county oversight and networking engagement in Machakos County to acquaint itself with the implementation status of the technical and vocational education and training TVET and early childhood development education ECDE policies. Attached to this statement is a schedule of the legislative business considered by the committee. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the reporting period, the committee held a consultative meeting with the Ministry of Education, the Council of Governors, and the Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee, IGRTC, to deliberate on the plight of ECDE teachers, the implementation of the ECDE and TVET policies in counties, emerging issues in devolution, transfer of functions, and intergovernmental relations. In this period, the committee considered 2 petitions concerning the discrimination in the paying of hardship allowance to teachers in Taita Taveta and Kilifi counties. Whereas the committee has endeavored to finalize the consideration of 3 petitions, the committee regrets the delays in concluding the petitions, which has been occasioned by the unavailability of sufficient information and responses from the executive, frequent requests for postponement of meetings by the stakeholders, and quorum hitches. Mr. Speaker, sir, during consideration of the statements, the committee observed that there is an increasing number of statements pending before it and resolved to bundle statements relating to similar thematic areas and invite the concerned agencies to committee meetings for consideration. Consequently, the committee is scheduled to meet the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Education, and the Chief Executive Officer of the Teacher Service Commission to deliberate on several pending statements related to their specific mandates. Consequently, during the quarter, the committee will continue engaging and following up on the implementation status of the policies on the competency-based curriculum CBC, the infrastructural development and congestion of learning institutions, the government's commitment towards employment of junior secondary schools, JSS teachers, the university funding model, and the preparedness in transition for learners from junior secondary school to senior secondary school. The committee is also scheduled to continue engaging the Council of Governors to deliberate on the implementation of the scheme of service for ECDE teachers and the budgetary allocations and expenditure of counties in relation to the devolved function under the education sector. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, I wish to thank your office and the office of the Clerk of the Senate for the continuous support accorded to the committee in its work in executing its mandate. Lastly, I also wish to thank the members of the committee for their diligence and contributions during the committee activities. I thank you. Signed, Senator Junior to Chairperson, Standing Committee on Education. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, I will allow comments on the statement sought together with the statements by the 3 chairpersons. We are going to do that exercise in the next 15 minutes, within the next 15 minutes. Senator Murango James. Senator Manzo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to make a brief comment on the request of statement by Senator Kabindu on stalled projects in the counties. Mr. Speaker, it is not just Machakos, but there are many, many stalled projects in many, many counties, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this originates from the fact that counties have not received money for quite a while. And also, Mr. Speaker, in this House, we have a proposal even to reduce the funding of the counties, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, we stand for devolution. Devolution is very important. At all material time, Mr. Speaker, the national government is the collector of taxes. So whenever there is a shortfall of revenue, it should not affect counties, but should affect the national government because it has many sources of monies as compared to the counties, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, there are quite a number of stalled projects, either belonging to the counties and also belonging to the national government. And it is important to complete projects which are pending. The more they delay, the more expensive they become. The contractors are on the ground, and this is also associated with the pending bills. The more you have debts, the more it becomes difficult to develop and even to pool the resources we have together to be able to develop the counties much better. Mr. Speaker, I support, and I want to say that there must be a concerted effort within the county governments and within the national governments to make sure that all stalled projects, Mr. Speaker, including Thwake Dam, are revived and can be completed so that we don't incur more expenses with the county. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mutinda Tabitha.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Allow me to support the statement by Senator Machakos, Senator Kavindu, in regards to the issue of all the pending and stalled projects in Machakos County. Mr. Speaker, you realize the issues that have been there so much in regards to the pending bills issues. Some of them are being brought by the issues of projects that have stalled. Money has already been spent. Part of the certificates have been paid. But if the project is also not complete, it becomes a waste. It's not valuable to the people, not only of Machakos, but it cuts across the 47 counties. These are some of the issues that we are coming across in our different committees. And it's being brought about by the political class issues, whereby if a new government comes in place, then they decide not to complete the previous project because the notion is then that project is from the previous governor. But that affects the local people. They are not able to benefit from these particular projects because of the issues and the political issues that run across the different counties. It will be prudent, not only Machakos, if this committee can be able to interrogate all the 47 counties, which projects are pending, why are they pending, so that the governors can be able to appear and show cause as to why they are not prioritizing the projects that have been there all this particular time. Just touching on education matters, Mr. Speaker, in regards to Senator Mwaruma's statements, we have now the issues of help from primary, as he puts it, but I thought primary education is currently free. We should be actually focusing from education from the baby class level to the higher education level of the university, whereby education is totally free in this country. I would want to entertain the discussion of that all monies pertaining to bursaries issues from the county level, the ones that have also been there from the CDF, Executive, Ministry of Education, can all be bundled to ensure that they offer education from the childhood level to the highest level of education, university level, at a free education, you know, maximally to all our students in this country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I will make a comment on two statements. One, the statement by Senator Kavindu, and the statement by Senator Morango. Mr. Speaker, the matter of stalled projects in Machakos is a matter that is a reality in every county in this country. A way must be found, Mr. Speaker, to fast-track the implementation of projects, the completion of projects that have already been initiated in all the counties, so that we avoid this case of white elephants all over. On the statement by Senator Morango, Mr. Speaker, on the work of the Agriculture Committee, Mr. Speaker, that statement is a statement that should really concern every senator in the Senate, that a committee now has made a resolution to suspend operations because they are not properly facilitated to carry out their functions. The Speaker, it should be remembered that though in that statement that he has issued, he makes mention of the Mang Beans bill as having been subjected to public participation in Sikuru, the truth of the matter, Mr. Speaker, and for the record, is that public participation on the Mang Beans bill took place in Sikuru, in Mutomo, in Ngomeni, and in Kiusiani. It took place in 4 wards in 3 constituencies. And yet now there are some members of the Speaker in the National Assembly who are mobilizing to defeat the bill on account of it having not been subjected to public participation. The Speaker, the matter of public participation on bills is an important matter, and it's a matter that requires that committees be properly facilitated to carry out both public participation and stakeholder engagement on their bills. Mr. Speaker, I support.
Senator Wafula.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa tu kuchangia hoja.
Just a minute, Senator Wafula. Majority Leader, you know you cannot raise a point of order when there is no senator Unless there's an intervention you would wish to. What is your intervention? Certainly not a point of order.
Yeah, just an intervention, Mr. Speaker. I wanted to bring it to your attention that we have the requisite delegations in the House needed to take a vote. Therefore, I'm kindly requesting if we could pause the comments so that we conclude on the voting. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the order paper, since we came back from recess, 2 weeks now, this is the third week, Mr. Speaker, we have not been able to take a vote for lack of delegations. This is such a serious matter. I want to plead for the kind indulgence of both the Speaker and the members in the House that given that we have the requisite number of delegations, Mr. Speaker, kindly permit us. Then afterwards, my colleague, Senator Wakoli, can resume the floor and make the comment. My humble plea.
Clerk, can you indeed confirm that we have the requisite number of delegates before I give direction on this matter? Now, honorable senators, order, honorable senators. We will move to prosecute order number 8 all the way to 16, and thereafter we'll come back to comments on the statements. So, clerk, proceed to call the orders, please.
Order number 8, motion. Report of the Select Committee on County Public Accounts on its consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of West Pokot County Assembly for the financial year 2018-2019 and reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Isiolo, Kiambu, Kitui, Marsabit, Narok, Nyamira, Trans Nzoia, West Pokot, and Murang'a County Assemblies for the financial year 2019-2020. Division.
Sergeant at Arms, kindly ring the division bell for 5 minutes.
That is the division bell currently on. This follows the confirmation by the House by the clerk that the House has the right number of members to go into division. Now that has been brought by the order in today's business. There are two motions, that members are at this stage, or other motions that are at the stage of division that has to be voted on. One of the motion is the one that has been read by the clerk, the motion on the report of the Select Committee on County Public Accounts on its consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of West Pokot County Assembly for the financial year 2018-2019 and reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Isiolo, Kiambu, Kitui, Marsabit, Narok, Nyamira, Trans Nzoia, West Pokot and Murang'a County Assemblies for the financial year 2019-2020. Now this debate on this motion was concluded on the 7th of August, the year 2024. And today's business was to resume debate on this motion, and the business that was to be transacted was division. That is one of the motions that is set to go into division. The second motion that the members will be going into division on today or this afternoon is a motion on the report of Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the Senate nominees on behalf of the county governments to the position of member of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. Also, this is a motion whose debate was concluded on the 17th of September, the year 2024. This was in Tuesday afternoon sitting, and the business remaining on this particular motion was to go into division. There are about 8 bills or 7 bills that are also slated to go into division this afternoon. There are bills that are at their second reading stage, and their business for this afternoon was to go into division. And you realize that when the members are to consider such business at the division stage, then there has to be a requisite number of members to be able to take those votes. And this is what the majority leader was referring to as a delegation, that each senator from the 47 counties will be taking a vote on this bill, that whether the bill be read for the second time. Remember, as I had indicated earlier, is that all these bills that are lined up for consideration at the division stage are bills that are at their second reading stage, and by them being voted on for them to be read for the second time, then that will pave way for them to go into the next stage. So those are 8 bills, as indicated. They are bills that have not managed to go into the division stage in the House, of course, due to lack of the requisite quorum at the division stage. But the majority leader stood on a point of order to indicate to the Speaker that the House has the right number for those businesses to be transacted and to be concluded on, for them to be able to continue into the next stage. So that is the division bell. The first motion that they will be coming to vote on is on this particular report. Report that was laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, 7th of March, the year 2024. This is a report by the chairperson, County Public Accounts Committee, and it is with regards to the Auditor General's report of financial statements of West Pokot County Assembly, and for the that is for the financial year 2018-2019, and the Auditor General's reports on the financial statements of Isiolo, Kiambu, Kitui, Marsabit, Narok, Nyamira, Trans Nzoia, West Pokot, and Murang'a County. Once that bell is done, then the members will be taking a vote with the committee indicating that the Senate adopt the report. Allow me to hand you over. Well, that there is an addition of 5 more minutes into the division bell. Remember, this is a division on 2 motions that the members are set to transact or to consider in today's in today's afternoon sitting, and these are motions and bills that need to be voted on by the delegates. By delegates, we mean the senators who are representing the 47 counties. And this is after the majority leader indicated that the House has the required number of members in the chambers that would make it easy for the House to dispense with the motions and the bills that are at the division stage but have failed to pull through due to lack of quorum. This is pursuant to the House Standing Order number 83 on voting and divisions, With regards to county delegation, paragraph 1 indicates that on election, all senators who are registered as voters in a particular county shall collectively constitute a single delegation for purposes of paragraph 2, and the senator elected under articles of the Constitution shall be the head of the delegation. That's what I had indicated earlier, that the delegation or the delegates here, the standing orders mean that those are senators representing the various 47 counties that we have who were elected as per the Constitution. Paragraph 2 indicates, except as otherwise provided in the Constitution in any matter in the Senate affecting counties, each county delegation shall have one vote to be cast on behalf of the county by the head of the county delegation, or in the absence of the head of the delegation, by another member of the delegation designated by the head of the delegation. The person who votes on behalf of a delegation shall determine whether or not to vote in support of or against the matter after consulting the other members of the delegation. So in this case, they will be taking a vote on the bills. Remember, it is with regards to the bills being read for the second time. The vote will be indicating that the bills now be read for the second time for them to move to the next stage. And on the motions is that the senators, or rather the Senate, adopts those reports. The second motion that is lined up for consideration at the division stage is the motion with regards to a report by the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget, where the committee indicates that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the Senate nominees on behalf of the county governments to the position of member of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission that was laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 23rd July, 2024. And also consideration of the, or rather pursuant to the articles of the Constitution that the members of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission of the, with regards to the Act of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, recommend Ms. Lynette Washiali Muganda and Mr. Mohammed Aden Abdi to the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury and Planning for transmission to the Excellency, His Excellency the President, for consideration for appointment to the position of member of Salaries and Remuneration Commission. Now, debate on this motion, as I had indicated earlier, was concluded on the Tuesday, 17th of September, the year 2024, and today's business is for this motion to go into division for the members to vote on whether that particular motion or that particular recommendation by the committee for the Senate to adopt its report will be accepted through that particular vote. So those two motions will be going into division, of course, following the House having its members, and then the 8 bills that are at its second reading stage or at their second reading stage, they will be voted to be read for the second time for them to be able to proceed to the next stage. So if you're just joining us, is that currently is a division bell. This is with regards to the business that has been pending before the House due to lack of quorum for division. And now that the House has the numbers for the members to continue with the business, then the business that was being transacted has been put on hold for the House to dispense with these businesses that are at the division stage. Earlier on, remember, before this particular division bell, members were reacting to a number of statements, 2 statements that had been made before the floor of the House by the Honorable Senator for Machakos, Honorable Agnes Kavindu Mudhama, as well as the Honorable Senator for Taita Taveta County, Honorable Jonas Mwaruma, and members had been given 15 minutes by the Speaker to react to these two statements. The statements by the Honorable Agnes Kavindu Mudhama was with regards to stalled projects across Machakos County, and she was seeking a statement from the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations. And the statement or the concern by the Honorable Senator for Taita Taveta was with regards to lack of higher education loans board funding and government capitation for certificate and diploma students in primary and secondary school teachers, colleges. Allow me to hand you over now back.
Order, honorable senators. Sergeant at Arms, you may now proceed to close the doors and draw the bar. Now, honorable senators, voting shall be done electronically, and therefore I'll proceed to put the question on order number 8. That the Senate adopt the report of the Select Committee on County Public Accounts on its consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of West Pokot County Assembly for the financial year 2018-2019, and reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Isiolo, Kiambu, Kitui, Marsabit, Narok, Nyamira, Trans Nzoia, West Pokot, and Murang'a County Assemblies for the financial year 2019-2020, laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, the 7th of March, 2024. Now, before you vote, just log out, honorable senators. And then, Sergeant at Arms, just walk around the chamber and pull away an unattended card that is still stuck in the delegate unit. Sergeant at Arms, if you're done, you may signal. Senator Boni, you may now log in and proceed to vote. Senator Beatrice Ogola, proceed to the dispatch. Order, Senator Seki, kindly take your seat. Honorable Senators, the result of the division is as follows. Ayes at 27 votes, nays 0, abstention 0. So the ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, motion. Report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the Senate nominees on behalf of county governments to the position of member of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, Division.
Honorable Senators, I'll proceed to put the question that the Senate adopt the report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the Senate nominees on behalf of the county governments to the position of member of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, the 23rd of July, 2024, and further pursuant to Article 232B7 of the Constitution and Section 7.2 of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission Act, recommends Ms. Lynette Washiali Muganda and Mr. Mohammed Aden Abdi to the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury and Planning for transmission to His Excellency the President for consideration for appointment to the position of member of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. You may now proceed to vote. Now, honorable senators, the result for the division on that particular order is as follows. Ayes are 26, nays 1 vote, abstention 0. So the ayes have it. Now, Sergeant at Arms, you may open the door and draw the bar. I'm told we have members who wish to. Sergeant at Arms, you may now proceed to close the door and draw the bar. Call the next order, clerk.
Order number 10, the Constitution of Kenya Amendment number 2 Bill, Senate Bills number 52 of 2023, second reading, division.
Order, honorable senators. Yes, Senator Chimera. Senator Boni.
Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 159(1) of the Senate, and I wish to withdraw the said Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 52 of 2023, Mr. Speaker, which is appearing in today's order paper as order number 10. Mr. Speaker, the reasons for my withdrawal are well captured in my letter to you, contents of which are well within your knowledge, Mr. Speaker, and also the need to ensure a much more wider and broader consultation on the effects of this particular bill, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thank you and I wish to withdraw, Mr. Speaker.
That particular order stands withdrawn. Next order, clerk.
Order number 11, the Local Content Bill, Senate Bills number 50 of 2023, second reading, division.
Honorable senators, I'll proceed to put the question on this order. Senator Boni and Senator Eddy. Senator Eddy, take your seat. The question is that the Local Content Bill, Senate Bills number 50 of 2023, be now read a second time. You may proceed to vote. May the following senators proceed to dispatch: Senator Nyutu, Senator Murango, and Senator Mudama Kavindu. You may proceed to dispatch and cast your vote. Order, honorable senators. Senator Dulo, take your seat, please. The result of the vote is as follows: ayes 30, nays 0, abstention 0. So the ayes have it. Next order.
The Local Content Bill 2023, a bill for an act of parliament to provide for a framework to facilitate the local ownership, control, and financing of activities connected with the exploitation of gas, oil, and other petroleum resources, to provide a framework to increase the local value capture along the value chain in the exploration of gas, oil, and other petroleum resources, and for connected purposes.
Next order, clerk.
Order number 12, the Early Childhood Education Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 54 of 2023, second reading, division.
Senator Chute, take your seat, please. Honorable senators, I will proceed to put the question that the Early Childhood Education Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 54 of 2023, be now read a second time. You may proceed to vote. May the following senators proceed to dispatch and cast their vote. Senator Kamau Githuku, Senator Mudama, Senator Fatuma Dulo, and Senator Seki. And Senator Wamboa too. Order, honorable senators. Senator Fernandi. The result of the vote is as follows. Ayes 30, nays 0, abstention 0. So the ayes have it.
The Early Childhood Education Amendment Bill 2023, a bill for an act of parliament to amend the Early Childhood Education Act and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 13, the Land Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 40 of 2022, second reading division.
Honorable senators, I'll proceed to put the question that the Land Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 40 of 2022, be now read a second time. You may proceed to vote. May the following senators proceed to dispatch to get some assistance. James Lomenen, Senator Fernandez, Senator Samson Chirange, and Senator Keroche Karanja. Proceed to dispatch and cast your vote. Senator Fernandez, kindly take your seat, please. The result of the vote is as follows. Ayes at 30, nays at 0, abstention at 0. So the ayes have it.
The Land Amendment Bill 2024, a bill for an act of parliament to amend the Land Act and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 14, the Intergovernmental Relations Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 12 of 2024, second reading division.
Honorable Senators, I'll proceed to put the question that the Intergovernmental Relations Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 12 of 2024, be now read a second time. You may proceed to vote. May the following senators approach dispatch for purposes of being assisted on how to vote. Senator Boni Kalwale. Senator Okech Eddie. Senator Mungatana. Senator Manzo. Senator Mudhama. Senator Gataya Mofaya. And Senator Wafula. Order, honorable senators, the majority leader and minority whip. The result of the vote is as follows. Ayes 30, nays 0, abstention 0. So the ayes have it.
The Intergovernmental Relations Amendment Bill 2024, a bill for an act of parliament to amend the Intergovernmental Relations Act and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 15, the Energy Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 42 of 2023, second reading, division.
Order, Majority Leader. Honorable Senators, I'll proceed to put the question that the Energy Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 42 of 2023, be now read a second time. You may proceed to vote. May the following senators proceed to dispatch. Senator Nyutu, Senator Morango. Order, honorable senators. The result of the vote is as follows. Ayes at 30, nays 0, abstention at 0. So the ayes have it.
The Energy Amendment Bill 2023, a bill for an act of parliament to amend the Energy Act and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 16, the National Disaster Management Bill, National Assembly Bills number 24 of 2023, second reading, division.
Honorable senators, I'll proceed to put the question that the National Disaster Risk Management Bill, National Assembly Bills number 24 of 2023, be now read a second time. You may proceed to vote. May the following honorable senators proceed to dispatch to get assistance, so now to cast their votes. Senator Fernandi, Senator Chiranke, Senator Eddie Okech, and Senator Newt. Senator Newt, proceed to dispatch and cast your vote. Senator Fernandi. Senator for Nandi, take a seat, please. The result of the vote is as follows. Ayes at 30, nays at 0, abstention at 0. So the ayes have it.
The National Disaster Risk Management Bill 2023, a bill for an act of parliament to establish the National Disaster Risk Management Authority and county disaster risk management committees to provide a legal framework for the coordination of disaster risk management activities and for connected purposes.
Sergeant at Arms, you may now open the doors and withdraw the bar. Next order. Now, honorable senators, we had deferred comments on the statements. So we'll conclude that before we go to order number 17. Senator Wafula, you had the floor.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika, nashukuru. Nilikuwa nachangia hoja kwamba kuna miradi mingi ya maendeleo katika kaunti zetu, miradi ambayo kaunti imekwama. Kwa mfano, kuna kaunti ambazo miradi na mijengo imekwama kwa muda wa takriban karibu miaka 10. Kaunti zingine miradi miaka 6, miaka 3. Na hatuoni sababu inayoshinikiza miradi hii kutokamilika. Na tukipiga kurunzi, Mheshimiwa Spika, tunapata kwamba ni miradi ambayo huwapa kipato wanakandarasi ama baadhi ya maafisa katika kaunti husika, na hivi kuhakikisha kwamba Wakenya na kaunti wanakamuliwa pasipo wao kujua. Sasa naunga Mheshimiwa Kavindu mkono kwamba magavana na serikali za kaunti ziweze kujukumika wanapoanzisha miradi ya maendeleo, ikamilike katika awamu zao za uongozi, ili kwamba wale ambao wanachukua tamu za uongozi baadaye hawalipi madeni na kushughulika na madeni ambayo hawakuhusika kuidhinisha na kuanzisha miradi hii. Mheshimiwa Spika, vile vile ni jambo ambalo linadhihirika kwamba miradi hii hupitishwa pasipo matarajio ya baadhi ya viongozi katika kaunti. Wanangoja palipo awamu ya mwisho ya makataa ya bajeti ama siku za kifedha, ndipo miradi hii kwa haraka hupitishwa katika awamu ya kimombo nasema supplementary budget. Sasa mimi naomba jumba la Senate liweze kumakinika na kuhakikisha kwamba mambo kama haya yanasitishwa na hatua madhubuti kuchukuliwa. Jambo la pili, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni kuunga Mheshimiwa mwenyekiti wa kamati ya ukulima kwamba tutasitisha vikao vyetu ili kuhakikisha fedha ambazo kamati zinapewa ni fedha za kutosha kuhakikisha kwamba kamati ya ukulima inaenda nyanjani kushughulika na zaraa ama ukulima ambao umegatuliwa kirasmi katika nchi ya Kenya. Mheshimiwa Spika, hatuwezi kuwa tunakaa Nairobi kupiga gumzo, kuboronga Kiingereza, kutunga sheria hapa Nairobi ili hali hatuendi mashinani, wakulima wa mashinani wahusishwe katika sheria ambazo tunashughulikia. Mheshimiwa Spika, juzi tulikuwa katika hatua za kufanya majadiliano ya mswada kule Mombasa, na tukakatisha safari yetu kwa sababu tuliambiwa mkoba wa kifedha wa jumba la Senate umeisha na hakuna hela ndani. Tukafunganya virago tukarudi Nairobi, mioyo ikisononeka. Ilipaswa vile vile tuendelee na mkutano na mikutano mingi. Sasa mimi naomba Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa niaba ya wale ambao huenda wanaumia na wameshindwa kuzungumza, Mheshimiwa Spika, kusema kwamba kamati za bunge zipewe fedha za kutosha. Na tukiangalia miaka na seneti miaka iliyopita walikuwa wanapewa fedha za kutosha za kufanya kazi. Sasa mimi naomba turudi katika kumbukumbu za kifedha. Tuone iwapo miaka 10 iliyopita kamati ilikuwa inapewa milioni 20, milioni 15, iwaje sasa ambapo tumepiga hatua nyingi za gatuzi tunaanza kukohoa na kukatiwa hewa ya kifedha. Mheshimiwa Spika, sasa hili ni jambo ambalo viongozi katika jumba hili, viongozi katika kamati na jumba la Senate, mumakinike, mujinyanyue na mututetee, kwa sababu tumewapa nafasi. Hatutaraji sisi wenyewe tuje hapa tuanze kuzusha, tuanze kudai kana kwamba sisi sio jumba la Senate ambalo hugawia makaunti fedha za ugatuzi za kufanya maendeleo. Na mwisho, Mheshimiwa Spika, juzi tulipitisha bilioni 400 kwenda katika kaunti. Iwaje sisi wenyewe tunashindwa kutekeleza majukumu yetu kwa sababu hatuna hela? Ni kinaya. Nataka tu nielezwe kama kuna hela ama hakuna hela. Huenda nasema kuna hela na ziko hewani mahali na sijaziona. So Mheshimiwa Spika, nashukuru kwa nafasi hii na kutaraji kwamba miradi ambayo haijakamilika ikamilike na yale ambayo inatapaswa kuanza ianzwe na imalizwe katika awamu za magavana walioko sasa. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
And honorable senators, the time that was allocated was 15 minutes for statement comments on the statements. And fortunately, Senator Okoli has used almost 6 minutes. So let us get now Senator Ososi Gonfrey. Within 2 minutes, you can make just one comment on the statements.
Chair, I want to make a comment on the statement by the chair of Standing Committee on Education on the matter of the current study they are doing on ECD, so that, Mr. Speaker, they come up with a uniform scheme of service for ECD. Mr. Speaker, this would be one of the greatest achievements of this Senate if this matter was prioritized, because we have a crisis in the management of ECDs in our counties. And it is a high time that the Committee for Education finalized this report and brought it to this House so that we can pass it and have it implemented in our counties. Mr. Speaker, very soon my committee of CIPIC is going to present a report on their findings after they have reviewed the bursary funds in counties. Mr. Speaker,
the bursary fund in our counties, we have found out that these funds have been misused and mismanaged, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is illegal for our counties to continue appropriating money into these bursary funds or the so-called governor scholarship funds when that function is not a devolved function. It's a national government function, Mr. Speaker. And they are putting money in these funds, at the same time starving the ECDs and the vocational training centers of the funds that are required to run them efficiently. Mr. Speaker, one of the most fundamental things that this House has to do is to abolish all the bursary funds that we have in our counties. Let people get bursaries from the national government, CDF, or from Ministry of Education. Let the counties focus on devolved function. That is the
Just a
ECDs.
minute, Senator. So what is your point of order, Senator Andy? Do you want to be informed?
He can inform me because he's a member of my committee and we have been dealing with the bursary funds, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to inform the chair of CPIC and the deputy party leader of ODM, Senator Osotsi, on the beat around the proper scheme of service for teachers at the ECD level. The bill you have just passed at the second reading, the bill on ECD, comprehensively seeks to address this particular issue. And I wanted to inform him that I know he has voted for the bill, but maybe he hasn't read that bill. And the reason why I'm informing him is because he's one of the most important senators of this House in terms of coming up with serious amendments. So that in the third reading of that bill, perhaps he can propose amendments, but that bill has just passed the third reading, in the second reading that we'll just add right now in the division. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Eddy.
Conclude, Senator Ososi.
Yes, thank you, Senator Eddy. You know, the scheme of service is one thing, but there are other challenges that face ECD management in our counties, including even provision of appropriate environment for learning. For example, classrooms, sanitary areas, they are not there in most of our ECDs. So it is a comprehensive matter, and that capacity issues around the ECDs are largely caused by low financing or funding of these ECT programs in our counties. And that's why, Mr. Speaker, I'm saying it will be important for us to review the way the counties spend their money on education. It is illegal, and this has been going on for some time, Mr. Speaker, where counties put money in bursaries so that they can easily steal, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think this House has to rise to the occasion and abolish the bursary funds that we have in our counties. And soon, Mr. Speaker, after completion of a report, we'll be bringing a report in this House that demonstrates how bursary funds and the governor scholarship funds, or some counties have even invested in school infrastructure, building.
Senator Chalge Samson.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I just wanted to react to the statement made by the chairperson of Agriculture. One, it is disappointing that the issue of capacity and ability of committees is dysfunctional. Mr. Speaker, as the chair of Liaison Committee, I expect you to intervene on this matter. And Senator Faki had requested for Kamkunji. I hope we can be able to discuss this matter. Secondly and finally, Chair, I needed an update from the Chair of Agriculture, Mr. Speaker, on the issue of bonus. You remember where I come from, Nandi County, Vihiga, Kakamega, Nyamira, Kisii, Bomet, and Kericho, our T bonuses were very low. We were receiving 17 to 25 shillings. But on this other side of the country, Mr. Speaker, sir, they were receiving up to 61 shillings bonuses, Mr. Speaker. And that is why I expected even up to Bungoma. Mr. Speaker, that's why I expected on the issue of T-bonus. Even I saw even in your area today, I saw your people demonstrating, yet they are getting even more better, up 57 to 60 shillings. As in Nandi, we are getting only 15 shillings, 17 shillings to 25 shillings, Mr. Speaker. So this issue on T-bonuses of our farmers, especially from the Rift Valley, Mr. Speaker, and part of Nyanza, and part of Western Kenya, Mr. Speaker, we are suffering, Mr. Speaker. We need this issue of T-bonuses to be told. Because you cannot tell us that the tea that comes, Mr. Speaker, from another part of Kenya fetches more bonuses over there that come from Rift Valley, Mr. Speaker. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal to the Agriculture Committee to tell the country what really is happening about the bonuses that we have in this country, Mr. Speaker. So that our
Senator Chalege, in just a minute. You know the statement by the Agriculture Committee was on the business that have been on the committee for the last session to date. Maybe that business is not before the committee on the team bonuses. So maybe if there is a statement you have sought, you will be able to respond to that matter when the time comes. But he could not respond to something that has not been finalized by the committee.
Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I have seen in the statement he has talked about the Kenya Tea Development Agency, the issue of tea matters are in his statement that were presented today. So, Mr. Speaker, but also our committees should be judicially noticed of what is happening, Mr. Speaker. I thought that has been the thumb rule of committees. But I know the Chair of Agriculture, we have expectations a lot from him, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
We're almost concluding now, Senator Kaluda Sengo. On statements, I think that should be the end of that session.
Thank you. Asante sana, Mheshimiwa Spika. Nasimama kuunga mkono hoja iliyowasilishwa na Senator wa Machakos, Senator Agnes Kavindu, kuhusu miradi ambayo imesimama katika kaunti zetu. Na kwa hakika niseme kwa miradi mingi ambayo imesimama na imeacha kumaliziwa, imekosa kumaliziwa, imekosa kutimiza kazi ambayo ilianzishwa kufanya, ni kwa sababu ya viongozi ambao walikuwa awali, kama ni governor akipata mradi ambao ilianzishwa na predecessor wake ama governor aliyekuweko mbele, ama kama ni mbunge ama mwakilishi wa wodi, wanaacha hizo miradi kwa sababu za kisiasa. Anaona akimalizia hiyo miradi atakayepata sifa na ni yule aliyetangulia kuanzisha huo mradi, ambao ni makosa, Mheshimiwa Spika. Jambo la pili ni kusema kwamba pesa ya umma inatumika kuanzisha hii miradi, na hiyo miradi isipomaliziwa, kamilika ndio ifaidi wananchi, pesa ya umma inapotea na imekuwa wasted, na ambao ni makosa sana, Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa pesa ya umma kupotea na kukosa kufaidi wenye nchi. Niseme, Bwana Spika, maendeleo ambayo inakusudiwa kuletwa na pesa ya umma, miradi ikianzishwa katika counties zetu na inakosa kukamilika na inakosa kutumika, basi inakuwa maendeleo inasimama. Na tunajua kama viongozi katika jumba la seneti, sisi utetea ukamilifu na kufanya kazi kwa devolution. Kwa hivyo isipofanyika, basi inakuwa kwamba sisi kazi yetu haijahalalishwa kikamilifu, na basi wananchi wa Kenya wanapoteza pesa zao, maendeleo inakosa kupatikana mashinani, na wananchi wanahangaika ili hali walipiga kura, wanalipa ushuru, na pesa zao ambazo wanatumia kwa kulipa ushuru zinapaswa kutumika kuleta maendeleo kwa wananchi, na basi maendeleo inakosa na inakuwa ni kupoteza pesa za wananchi ambayo haistahili. Mheshimiwa Spika, nitachangia kidogo kuhusu ripoti iliyoletwa na mwenyekiti wa ukulima. Mimi ni mwanakamati wa kamati ya ukulima, na ni vibaya, Mheshimiwa Spika, kwamba mgao wa fedha ambao unapaswa kwenda kwa kamati, basi kwa kamati ya ukulima inapaswa.
Can we now go to the next order?
Order number 17, the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 38 of 2024, second reading, resumption of debate.
I'm informed that Senator Boni Karware and a balance of 13 minutes on this motion. Do you intend to proceed executing?
Mr. Speaker, I would like to proceed. I had barely started, then time was up. So I would like to use a bit of that time. And I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me. In the first 5 or so minutes when I spoke, I was able to go into the work we did as a committee, and I want to use this opportunity to request colleagues, members of this Senate, for support of our report on the fact that we do not remove even 1 shilling from the revenue that this House passed. That the 400.16 billion shillings in its entirety should go to our counties. Mr. Speaker, as I say this, I know counties are faced with serious problems of pending bills, talking about Kakamega, talking about Nairobi. The pressure is too much. So I want to urge governors, as soon as they get this money, even if some of them do not respect us, we've done our bit. Let them make sure that the economies in our counties remain vibrant through settlement of pending bills. And Mr. Speaker, saying this, it reminds me, according to the report of the Controller of Budget, my county of Kakamega had a whooping 1.47 billion shillings in pending bills. And it took me a lot of interest, a lot of hard work to push the governor to start paying these bills. I want to thank this same committee, without which Governor Barasa had refused to pay the people who gave credit to our county, and now he has been able to pay 751,800,000. Mr. Speaker, I want to congratulate the governor for paying this 771.8 million shillings to our creditors. And I want to assure the remaining creditors who have not received their money due in pending bills worth 718.2 million shillings to rest assured and know that for as long as God allows me to be the senator of Kakamega, before the end of this financial year, Governor Barasa will have to pay this balance. And I want to congratulate them. When we were doing our oversight conference at the Golf Hotel, the information they gave us was very useful, and we are using that information. They'll be paid. And for Governor Barasa, we have summoned you to come to the Senate to demonstrate why you cannot pay this balance, because you have no reason. We've given you the money as the Senate of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, it is important that before I end the contribution on this very important bill, we must speak to some of the bad manners by our governors. Some of our governors have got serious bad manners. We must call them out. Mr. Speaker, right now, I've just been watching some news on social media. I hope it is true. And it shows unrest in the county of Nandi. Mr. Speaker, it shows unrest in the county of Kericho.
For Nandi wants to inform you, I don't know on what matters.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I'm concerned about the unrest in Nandi, and they're my neighbors.
So do you wish to be informed by the
Yes,
Senator
on behalf
for
of the
Nandi?
lawyers of Jesumei, who live and vote in Nandi, I would love to be informed.
Proceed, Senator Chel-
Mr. Speaker, I want to inform my good neighbor Omwami, the bullfighter, and we talk, Nandi County Assembly is under siege because the people of Nandi are moving the MCAs to commence impeachment proceedings against the inept governor, Sang, and remove him from office. And I want to assure there have also been some blows, exchange of blows by members of County Assembly. And Mr. Speaker, this is, we must ensure devolution works by fire, Mr. Speaker. Even, and I want to confirm that this House should be ready for impeachment against the governor of Nandi, Governor Sang, in the next few weeks. Because from the intelligence I have, Mr. Speaker.
What is the information that you wanted to pass?
I wanted to confirm to him that it is true that there is unrest in Nandi because people are tired of bad governance and corruption that is being perpetuated by the governor of Nandi, Sang. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful because I was worried that somebody would shoot up and challenge me for quoting social media. Of course, social media cannot stand in this House. So the confirmation from the distinguished senator of Nandi that there is unrest in Nandi must be taken seriously. And even more so by Senator Boni Khalwale and Senator Osotsi, because our cousins come from that county. Mr. Speaker, it's amazing that one of the voters in Nandi gave me a payslip, a copy of a payslip, and showed that a relative, a very close relative of the governor, is drawing a salary of 145,000 shillings per month, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, a governor's relative, who I don't mind, our relatives can work in our offices. They are entitled to jobs in counties. But when those relatives are over 60 years old, then it calls into question why they could be drawing a salary for not earning that money because they're not in employment. They're ghost workers, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to call out our governors on bad manners of the cost of foreign travel. The bill of foreign travel in this country by governors is amazing, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the most traveled governors, the governor of Nairobi, governor of Kakamega, shame on you. And the governor of Nandi. What are they doing? Mr. Speaker, imagine the governor of Kakamega spend 418 million shillings, 640,000 to fly around. Sang spent 310 million shillings, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, even if their friends are in here and they are comfortable about this truth, we will call them out. Mr. Speaker, sir, the bad manners of refusing to digitalize, Mr. Speaker, revenue collection is because governors want manual collection so that at the end of the day, they sit in the office with the finance people to share the daily connections like bank robbers. Mr. Speaker, can you imagine that a great young woman like Gladys Wanga, she comes from a very small county with limited opportunities of how to raise her own source revenue. And Gladys Wanga is leading from the front. She's doing a good job. I hear she's now the chair of the Orange Democratic movement. That is extremely attractive. I think your party is starting to look good. Very good indeed. If the chair can lead in realization of on-source revenue, ODM is doing very well. Mr. Speaker, Gladys Wanga raised 1.2 billion shillings from a rural constituency, a rural county. Madam Speaker, I also want to congratulate the governor of Narok. He raised 4.75 billion shillings. Narok here. The matter is when you see them in the white shukas, they are able to contribute their own source revenue worth 4.75 billion shillings. Mr. Speaker, the governor of Nairobi, he does a few bad things, but then surprises me with very good things. Like on own source revenue, he has done well. He has raised 12 billion shillings. Mr. Speaker, I cannot fail to congratulate the governor of Bungoma on on-source revenue. Governor Lusaka found when Wangamati was collecting a mere 400 million shillings. But the man who sat where you are, who learned good manners of respecting public money from this house, Lusaka, has done wonders. From 400, Lusaka has raised 1.12 billion shillings in Bungoma. And he's a living shame to what is happening in Kakamega. Oh, Kakamega. Oh, Kakamega is the second biggest county in this country. It has got some of the best resource raising points, Mr. Speaker, including the economy of Buteri Sugar Company, 10 billion shillings economy. It pays taxes, including cess. Mr. Speaker, West Kenya Sugar Company, a company with an economy of 15 billion shillings per year. And Mumias Sugar Company with an economy of 24 billion shillings. This is before you mentioned the other avenues of on-source revenue collection. The governor of Kakamega found when your Paranya was doing very well. The collection of revenue has tipped. Right now, he's trailing, according to the report of the Controller of Budget, and I invite colleagues to read it. Kakamega County, Bomet County, Busia County, Mandera County, and Migori County are the bad boys on abuse of on-source revenue. Governor Barasa, you cannot be collecting money from our women at Hayaga, our borders, from Malaba, from Butere, from Mumias, from Malinya, from Shinyalu, from Lumakanda, and Likuyani, and you'll be abusing that money. We want that money to be banked. Mr. Speaker, I want to end by speaking again to the bad manners of governors, something called extravagance. And I hear some people are harassing the Controller of Budget because they think she's exposing them too much. National Assembly, please give the Controller of Budget more money. She's doing a good job. She's calling out these people so that Senate can be able to deal with them. She has found that the top, Mr. Speaker, abusers of expenditure include the following counties: Kakamega County, Nakuru County, Bungoma County, Tana River County, Kitui County, Mombasa County, Machakos County, Kwale County, and Nyeri County. She's saying that the ones who are abusing the revenues in their counties through collection. Now that she has brought this report, colleagues, I'm starting to wonder, could it be true what I was seeing in the media from the Machakos local media, that their governor was having problems in London last week? Mr. Speaker, this could be the reason. She's been flagged out here. And Mr. Speaker, Machakos has splashed 100.
Senator Boni Karwale, just use the statistics from the control of budget.
They're the ones here.
From the media and the social media, just forget it.
This is
yes,
control of budget. I've taken a photograph.
Stories that you led, you now stick to the control of budget.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
You are doing so well.
According to the control of budget, Machakos, they have just splashed 193.85 million shillings on having fun, and the control of budget cannot understand why they are wasting this money. Mr. Speaker, the worst, number one abuser, according to the control of budget, is they call it FCAP or FCPA, Fernandez Barasa, has spent 521 million shillings, $500 million shillings, on buying mandasis and lunch and water and sodas in the office, Mr. Speaker. It is not possible to spend $500 million.
Give him that a second. To pronounce yourself on your position.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, with those many remarks, I want to oppose any attempt to reduce the money that this House allocated to counties, 400.16 billion shillings, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Next is Senator Sifuna Edwin.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to oppose the proposal to review the division of revenue to reduce the amount of money that this House allocated to county governments from the 400 billion shillings that we passed to 380 billion. Honorable Speaker, I was listening to my brother Khalwale praising his governor for paying pending bills of 771 million shillings. I was wondering if he had not seen that report, but he has mentioned it, that Kakamega County spent 521 million Kenya shillings on buying tea and mandazi for Fernandez Barasa and his friends. Honorable Speaker, these are the governors who create justification for why government proposes such bills. This bad behavior that Senator Khalwale is referring is not widespread across the country. There are county governments that are really doing their best to serve and deliver to their people. But it is governors like Khalwale's governor, Governor Fernandez Barasa, spending $500 million shillings on tea and mandazi. These are the people who make it very difficult for us to push further resources to go to the counties. Honorable Chair, I also had another governor who is, I would call him my mother's governor, the governor for Bungoma. He went after the senator for Bungoma, insulting this entire Senate, Honorable Speaker, that we have no role in making sure that governors or county governments get the money that they deserve. Yet it is us here today who have to stand up and defend devolution and say not a shilling less from the 400 billion shillings that we passed here in this House. Where is Governor for Bungoma now? Where is he now? Does he not depend on the Senator for Bungoma to be able to make these arguments? So some of these governors make our lives very difficult, but it's not all of them. Many of them, I remember when this matter was before the committee, I have never seen such a high attendance of governors before this House. I think all of them were here because it was a question discussing the revenue that is going to counties. They make it very difficult for this Senate to make these arguments. We make these arguments, Honorable Speaker, not because we like our governors, but because we swore to defend devolution. Because I understand that the money that I pass in this House does not go to Sakaja as an individual. It goes to the people of Nairobi and the programs of the people of Nairobi. Honorable Speaker, the reason that I oppose this is fourfold. Number one, if you look at Section 2 of this bill, it talks about the purpose of the bill being to amend the Division of Revenue Act of 2024 so that you can have what the bill very strangely calls, Honorable Speaker, equitable sharing of the shortfall in revenue. Now, this is something that I have never heard of before, because in my reading of Article 202, Honorable Speaker, the only thing that is subject to equitable sharing is revenue, national revenue that has been raised. There is no mention anywhere in the Constitution of sharing of shortfalls. That does not exist in the Constitution, Honorable Speaker. Therefore, from the onset, you can see that the object of this bill is unconstitutional. Number two, Honorable Speaker, my reading and understanding of the Constitution is that there is an annual division and allocation of revenue bill. One bill, if you look at, Honorable Speaker, the provisions of the Constitution only speaks about an annual division of revenue bill. That means, Honorable Speaker, every 12 months, Parliament is only allowed one division of revenue. There is no way you can introduce a second one. And once we have passed that bill, Honorable Speaker, it is my view that because the Constitution talks of an annual division of revenue, you cannot introduce a second one. It comes only once and it is provided for. You cannot have more than one annual division of revenue bill. And so too, Honorable Speaker, in my view and interpretation of the Constitution, the annual allocation of revenue bill. Honorable Speaker, it has been the tradition of previous divisions of revenue bill to provide that the shortfall in revenue is to be borne by the national government. Curiously, this bill proposes to amend Section 5 of the bill that we passed here earlier this year, that the shortfall be borne by both the national and county governments. Honorable Speaker, it even goes further to say that the shortfall to be borne by the national government cannot exceed 15%. Which is why, Mr. Speaker, I want to come to the third reason why I strongly oppose this bill. It is that limitation of the ceiling to which the national government can bear the shortfall that has resulted in this bill proposing an even less amount to the amount that we passed in this House for the last financial year, Honorable Speaker. What we want to agree, and this is a debate we have had here with my colleagues in the Senate, is that whatever happens any financial year, we as a Senate cannot pass a division of revenue bill that reduces the amount of money that is going to be allocated to the counties if compared to what we had passed in the previous financial year. Honorable Speaker, you know it is on record that last year, even after the Commission on Revenue Allocation had proposed that we in this Senate give counties 415 billion shillings, Honorable Speaker, we only gave 385 billion shillings for the last financial year. This bill proposes a figure of 380 billion shillings, which is 5 billion shillings less than the amount that was sent to the counties last year. Honorable Speaker, as the Democrats in the US are now saying, we are not going back. We must push this journey of devolution forward. We cannot go back to 380 because to do so, next year we will be told, these counties now we will give them 370 at some point, Honorable Speaker, because the enemies of devolution continue to gather. At some point, Honorable Halwale, if we are not careful, we will be told it's 300, then 250, then 200, then we'll be told all these functions now will be transferred back to the national government. As people sworn to defend devolution, Honorable Speaker, it is my view that as the pocket of devolution shrinks, even so the role of this Senate and the role of senators. If we expand the pocket of devolution, we as senators get a greater mandate because we are overseeing or oversighting greater resources. Honorable Speaker, lastly, the question of the disbursement schedule. Before I go to the disbursement schedule, this 400 billion shilling mark, those of you who have been in this House before me know that it is a psychological mark that has been very difficult to break. That since the advent of devolution, it is this fourth Senate that has breached that target of 400 billion shillings. Honorable Speaker, we all took pride in the fact that we were the first senators to be able to push the envelope of devolution beyond 400 billion shillings. For us to then sit again and reduce it, Honorable Speaker, it is something that I believe we cannot allow. And it is because, in my view, the law already anticipates on how to deal with shortfalls. I don't refuse that because of the matter of the Finance Act and the fact that the President had to return it it has resulted in a shortfall in the provisions for the budget that we had this year. But Honorable Speaker, how do you justify going below even the amount that had been allocated in the previous financial year? Because we all know that with the collapse of Finance Bill 2024, or the Finance Act of 2024, the tax